Okay, I think that we can start now. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm happy to see so many people in the audience. We have some exciting things to show you today. My name is Rafi and I'm the CEO of DPro. Let me just share my screen and we can start. DPro develops products for the SAP world for all types of customers and industries. Our flagship product that we will be discussing today and demoing today is InsightSAP. This webinar is about managing your SAP with no code, and I would like to spend a few minutes to explain why it is this important. SAP will be celebrating 50 this year. In these 50 years, SAP created a great product that is utilized in the world's biggest organizations, managing their finance, logistics, HR, and all operational aspects. SAP provides reports, tools, and processes, but when we need to customize, add a report or a business process, anything that is not included in the package provided by SAP, we face a problem. To solve this issue, companies have to go either to go outside of SAP and either to use BI tools, Excels, etc., or write ABAP code and create Z reports. With the alternative, actually, of either losing the benefits of the centralized system and the operational aspects of SAP, or having to spend thousands of dollars on each report and accept delivery times of weeks and months to get reports and business processes implemented, tested, and delivered on production. This was the problem that we set up to solve 12 years ago when we created InsightSAP. Our vision was to create a product that will enable users to work across platforms, HR, logistics, finance, S/4HANA, or ECC, providing a single interface for all aspects and or features, and make our solutions sustainable, so your reports and processes will always look fresh and updated. InsightSAP is able to bring information from multiple sources: SAP report, Z reports, queries, Excel files, and any type of file. Anything that can be manifested as an ALV file is now part of our solution. We work inside SAP on production without code. Reports, business processes, dashboards can be created, formatted, customized, and delivered in hours to the end users. Once these are created, Insight automatically manifests them as a Fiori App, enables users to see the data on their mobiles, on the mobile phones and tablets. We enable users to share data, send reports to people in the organization and outside entities, vendors, BI tools, etc., and get back information from these users and entities into SAP. As we reside in SAP, we are connected to the data, and the connection to the data is maintained, and user can drill down from the reports, data processes, dashboards, to the information of the PO, to the vendor information, material information, making them operational and actionable. In today's webinar, we want to touch 3 features and to show you how we can share data, convert reports and business processes into Fiori automatically, and work with Excels and functional buttons with no code and on production. I would like to invite Mr. Avi Mishan to share his screen and to show us how. If you have any questions, please post them on the Q&A section, and we will try to answer them during the webinar. We will also set 10 minutes at the end of the webinar to hear your questions and answer them. Avi, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Rafi. So, good day, everybody. Today's webinar is dedicated to the topic, Manage Your SAP System Without Code. Due to time constraints, we narrowed down the scope to a few subjects that we believe are meaningful to SAP users. Price performance-wise, we try to allocate the most frequently used tasks that need the highest ABAP skill set to be performed. So before we start, a few words about the starting point, the example we are starting from. Let me switch to a system. As Rafi said, the example was built using InsightSAP. We have started from the standard SAP transaction, ME2N, open purchase order lines. This is how it looks like. For the benefit of this demo, we enhanced the standard SAP report with a few data columns, calculated ones. You can see this column where we added the tax and a DB lookup columns like the industry. To the standard navigation to objects like the one navigated to MMO3, we added something, a navigation that navigates to MD04, which displays the material stock situation, right? We grouped the information to the left by industry and vendor. We color-coded the prices by the amount bigger than 1,000 USD, we color code red and etc. And we added a graph to the right. Okay. Do note that this example doesn't limit the generality of this demo, no whatsoever, as one can easily reach such a starting point from any other standard SAP report, locally developed report, Z report, ABAP queries, DB tables, views, CDS views, and even Excel files. Okay, for your information, it took me less than 10 minutes to accomplish this example. And if you are interested, we will share with you the how-to video, so you'll get the idea of how simple it was. Let's move on to the list of topics we would like to cover in this webinar. So what do we have on our plate for today? Around collaboration, we will start with the most common way to collaborate content. We often take the entire report we are currently working on, or part of it, and email it to others, along with some text to explain the issues. Thereafter, we will present you with a method of collaboration that's based on comment column. This way of collaboration is far closer to the way we communicate over WhatsApp than the way SAP users are used to. And we will finalize the collaboration part with a periodic share of content. I know it's a boring task, but it's often needed. Next, we will show you how to display almost every report as a Fiori application without a line of code. And last, we are going to talk about the ability to manipulate a business object to create, update, or delete them. We will take a specific example of modifying the delivery date of a purchase order, and we will start by adding this functionality as a button to the toolbar. We will continue by using this functionality to form a whiteboard, and we will end by enabling the same functionality using an Excel file outside SAP. Collaboration. We refer to collaboration as the ability to share content with other business partners easily, quickly, and efficiently. We are sharing data with colleagues and managers internally, and we share data with vendors and customers externally. Needless to say that sometimes we share information with external systems such as BI tools, CRM and SRM softwares, and other. Do note the differences between the various business partners in terms of their location. Are they within the organization's VPN or outside? Their ability to access the SAP system. In many organizations, not all employees have access to the SAP system. And last, the authorization level of the user. Even when granted access to SAP system, users are limited to see data that they are authorized to. So let us go back to the example. I will now mark a square of data, and I will press the with Outlook button. As you can see, a dialog box popped up, and we can now actually control the way the email is going to be generated. File format, we will use Excel. I will tick the navigation links. I will get back to this one shortly. Let us attach the graph. And last, we will add content link. This checkbox will enable the recipient to get back to this very report directly from the email. I will press OK. And as you can see, an email popped up. Let us start with the graphic. I will open it. Okay. Note, this graph represents the square of data we picked and not the entire data set. Okay, and now to the Excel file. As you can see, it looks nice, right? Everything is in it, including the color coding and the things. This is a good time to get back to the flag navigation links I checked previously. Amazingly, as it sounds, recipient may get back to the business object in the content directly from the Excel. So if I will pick the purchase order, I will be navigated back to SAP. The same applies to material. Give me a second, I will show you that. MM03 and MD04. Okay. But let me stress one point. The screen we are looking at is not SAP GUI. Okay, do remember the navigation opens an internet transaction server. Okay, it's not a SAP GUI screen. ITS technology is a 20 years old technology that allows SAP to show any SAP GUI screen as a non-responsive web page. Okay, and let me stress yet something else. Navigation. Okay, do remember everything depends on the recipient authorization level. So if they do not have the level of authorization, they will not be granted to see the information. Okay, this is happened just like in SAP in SAP GUI. Last, let's press the display report link. And as you can see, the recipient is navigated back to the Insight report with the marked records displayed only. Okay, in case you'd like to see the entire data set, the filter could be removed. Okay, let me just close all this. And let's move to the next example. Okay, column comment example. To the previous example, let me show you another one. I will open this one. And as you can see, there's another column. Okay. So to the previous example, we added the comment column. Now, comment is a type of input field, okay, input column, which keeps history. One can see the logs of all columns in terms of who added them and when. By itself, this is an amazing way to communicate with peers. Okay, comment column turns any tabular data into a process tracking report. However, today we would like to stress another feature enabled by the comment column. Sometimes I would like to draw the attention of specific individuals in the organization to a specific data point. And thus, I will open the comment and write down a message to my colleague. I will tell him, Gil, would you please check this PO? Okay, and now instead of closing this dialogue, I will add Gil's username to the collaborator list to the right. And I will add Neil username as well. Let me close this dialog box. It looks as if nothing happened. Yet if I will open transaction sourced SAP email client, you will be able to see two emails, each sent to my colleagues. Let me open this email. Okay. I can see my message, Gil, could you please check this PO? But apart from the PO number, I see no data. This is done due to security issues. As a sender, I'm not aware of Gil or Neil's authorization level and whether they are allowed to see the data or not. However, when Gil presses the display report link, Gil is navigated back to the exact same record within the Insight I was sending the message from, okay? So let me, as if I am Gil, reply to the message. I will write down, thank you, Mishan, it's all good. Okay, and I will close this dialog box. Let me go back to my example and I will refresh it. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the one. And I can see Gil's response instantaneously. Allow me to add that collaboration over comments is one of the widely used features amongst our customers, and they often communicate to us that this one is very useful and effective for them. Okay, so again, these two previous collaboration methods, they are sexy, but periodically sharing data with other is the most common way to share information in SAP. And last around collaboration, I will now show you how to share content with other people easily, quickly, and efficiently. Let me go back to the system. A few words about sharing information periodically. We send our salespeople reports every Monday morning. We send the CFO a list of aging invoices every month's end, and we send the various vendors the list of their open POs. Let me show you how publishing of InsightSAP report could be easily done. So directly from the Insight Creator, I will press the Create Insight Publisher job. Okay. To show you how powerful this publisher is, I will do nothing. I will do nothing but specifying the recipient email address, okay, down below. In a second, I will write down an email address, Hishan, and I will save my work. Since this is the first time I entered the publisher job, the standard SAP job dialog will pop up. I will schedule it. I will press the immediate button, and now I can do many things around the setting job periodically, job and stuff like that. For now, I will settle with immediate job for the sake of this presentation, and that's it. Let me go back to the email client. Let me refresh it. And you can see Insight Publisher. Let me open it. And you can see the attachment. In a second with everything. Okay. I will spare the next minute or so to refine this email. Let me go back and edit my work. I will change the format from Excel to HTML. I will set it as a message body. I will check the navigation links. Okay. I will set some message context information. Mishan list. I will add the standard text. Okay. And I will even add a logo. Let me save my work. I will schedule this job yet again. And let us check the SAP email client. I will refresh the list. And as you can see, Mish'an list pops up as the first one. Let me open it. SAP, it takes time to render long HTML email, but SAP will do the work. As you can see, the list over here, okay, the text, the data with all the coloring and navigation link, and down below, I expect to see the logo. Okay. Now, if I had 2 more minutes to spare, I would have shown you how to split the content to the various vendors. The system will split the information according to the vendor code. It will go to the master data, will get the email of each vendor, and will send the personalized email with the needed content to that vendor. Anyway, we will not do that currently, and we will switch to the next topic. Okay, we have a very short demonstration of a very, very important topic, displaying any insight report as a Fiori application. Currently, there is no real solution for ZALV reports, those reports that were locally developed. Those of you who are thinking about coding them again as Fiori applications using SAP UI5, let me share with you my 2 cents. So first, there is no connection between the old report and the new Fiori application. Everything is coded from scratch. The SAP UI5 frontend, the backend services, and the gateway. And thus, the outcome is not the old report that looks better. No, it's a whole new software that you must test for bugs, just like any other new code. And second, the outcome may look great for now. However, quickly enough, the brand new Fiori application will look outdated. With the pace SAP issues SAP UI5 controls, smart controls, and floor plans, your new Fiori application will quickly look pale and old. We offer a whole new concept. Okay, as soon as the data is presented in Insight, it could be displayed as Fiori application automatically and without a line of code. Let me show you how it looks like. I will press the SAP UI5 and the system automatically renders it as a Fiori application. Let's check how our application looks like in Fiori. Over here, there's the data, the content. You can navigate from here to everywhere. If you have graphs, they will be placed on top of the data. If you have more than one graph, you can switch between them. And to the left, you can see how the groups were rendered as a menu list, and you can actually navigate through the various groups. Okay, let us check how this Fiori application looks on iPhone devices, for example. Okay, as you can see, it renders itself to fit the iPhone form factor, right? I can switch devices. Let's check how it looks on iPad Air, for example, and you can see that this one is responsive. Okay, all Insight creations could be incorporated into SAP Fiori Launchpad. Okay, you can actually invoke the entire monitor or any example made by you. Okay, so that's it for this part. Let me close all those. So let's talk a bit about the metadata. How come we can manage with a single Fiori application for everything? So we have unified everything into one single framework inside SAP. Okay, in that very platform, you can display everything: reports, views, database tables, and even Excel files. And thus, we need to build only a single Fiori application to rule them all. This way, no one has to code things again and again and again. If you have a Z report, by merely bringing it into inside SAP, it will be available as Fiori application, let alone the fact that you can further enhance that Z report in minutes on production and without a line of code. And let's talk about the result, the inside SAP Fiori application. So first, you do not need to test the results of our Fiori application. Why? Because it is your old report. Insight invokes that report and only presents it as the Fiori application. The business logic behind this report is 100% reused. Second, our Inside SAP Fiori application would look like in a year from now. Is it going to look outdated? Nope. We launch our version twice a year, and in each version, we use the most updated SAP UI 5 controls. It is fairly easy for us since we have only one Fiori application, right? Trust me on this one. Inside Fiori application will look great every single time. And last, the fact that we have only one Fiori application means that we will keep improving it. For example, in Insight version 5.3, launched 2 days ago, we enhanced the system with pivot tables. I bet that we'll have this feature in the Fiori application shortly. And we are moving to the last topic, inside SAP Toolbar Function. I know that the title of this webinar is Manage Your SAP Without Code. Still, sometimes in rare cases, we are forced to write some code. It all starts from the fact that SAP doesn't know exactly what you are doing in your organizations. And thus, SAP introduced the BAPIs, Business APIs. BAPIs are there to bridge that knowledge gap. BAPIs allow ABAP developers to manipulate business entities to create, update, and delete business objects such as sales order, invoice, employee, and others. Calling the needed BAPI, the needed functionality in a loop, allows one to avoid the burden of manually changing objects one at a time. By the way, batch input does the same trick, yet it is less advisable since it's very sensitive to screen modification and it is very slow and resource consuming. Let's get back to the needed code, the code we need to run sometimes. Back in the days when we accepted the challenge of incorporating locally developed code into InsightSAP platform, we came up with the concept of Toolbar Function. Toolbar Function exhibits itself as a button added to the Insight toolbar. It is encapsulated from the world by a clear and clean interface, and therefore it could be integrated to any insight. When needed, the creator, the one that actually creates insights, adds the specific toolbar function into an insight and maps the reports field onto the toolbar function interface. In Insight, when the business end user selects a few records and presses the toolbar function, Insight sends the selected data to the toolbar function. The toolbar function does its things, okay? It fulfills the functionality it was built for and sends back the return messages to the calling Insight. Let me show you how it works in the system. As stated before, this demo will take a specific example of modifying the delivery date of a purchase order. Okay. However, you can think of hundreds of other functions, such as creating new materials, issuing invoices, blocking vendors, or converting plan orders into other things. they all will work for you. Okay, so first let's check how toolbar function is customized. I will go on to customization. I will open the toolbar function section. And this is the function delivery date update delivery date. Okay, and we will check the interface. Okay, so this is the interface declared for delivery date update of a purchase order, EBIL and EBIL-P, purchase order and purchase order item, and a date, a new delivery date. Okay, and there's a sequence that was placed for them. Okay, so now the developer should implement the body within this one, and usually it takes the simple phase or form of getting the user data from Insight, looping over the selected data, calling the BAPI, and sending back the return messages to Insight, roughly 50 lines of code in average. Okay, there are some variation to this process. Sometimes the developer aggregates the records, okay, to minimize the number of BAPI calls, for example. And sometimes the developer calls the batch input, another function module, class method, another. Everything depends on the needs. Okay. So let us go back to Insight and let me show you how it looks like in Insight. We will take again the ME2N report. Okay. The creator hooks the toolbar function into the Insight by mapping the interface fields onto the Insight data columns. So I will press more. I will look for function. I will create a new toolbar function in this Insight. I will set a sequence and I will pick our toolbar function. I press enter. Insight tries to map the fields onto the fields of the report, and it does fairly good work. In date, instead of mapping it to one of the fields, I'm going to use a constant. Let me open the search, and I will use November 5th, okay? And I will close it. And as you can see, a new toolbar function appears in the toolbar. Let me select a few records, and I will press the update delivery date. And now, actually, the information is set to the BAPI, and the BAPI returns the messages. And if I will check this purchase order, I can see that the delivery date was changed accordingly. Now, to show you how powerful this concept is, I will quickly use the defined variable new delivery date, and I will switch it with the fixed date we used previously. Give me a second. I will remap things. Instead of constant, I will set up the variable, okay, and I will pick the variable new delivery date, and I will even add the checkbox input, which gives the user the ability to override the system selection. And now, remember, it was set to today as a default. I will mark a few records. I will press the update delivery date. And now the date pops up. Let me put a weird date so you'll see. And I will approve it. Let me close this one and go back to the PO. And the delivery date was changed. Okay. Recently, we added a new feature by which each toolbar function could be easily turned into a whiteboard, okay, to allow the business end user to quickly add and modify the few records at a time. Okay, let me open another session of Insight. And I will create a new Insight. I will give it a name, but instead of aiming Insight to a transaction or snapshot, I will point it to a specific function. Let me pick our function again. That basically it. If I will double click this one, you will see a new Insight with input fields and our toolbar function. Okay, so let me show you how I can take advantage of this one. I will copy a few POs and PO items. I will select the dates and I will fill them quickly with the fast input entry. Okay. And directly from here, I can press the update delivery, and there you go. Things were modified. If I will go to this PO, I don't know. I don't think that this was approved. I remember that this one got a green return code. Sounds great, because now you can key in whatever you want, and please imagine that you have new materials, a set of lists that at the end will create a new material, a set of data that at the end will create a invoice, financial documents, anything, assets, whatever. But I've been looking around, and any SaaS application out there offer its users to must upload their data using straightforward interface. The user is asked to upload an Excel or CSV file with the data. In case the user doesn't know the requested file structure, the user is offered to download a sample Excel file in which the data could be either typed in or copied into. Okay. As soon as the field file is uploaded, pressing the button, there's a button over there, we perform the functionality. Google offer mass upload of Gmail users this way. Zoho allows mass upload of leads in the very same way. And any online booking application will enable you to upload your customer in the same way. This is how the modern world operates. Okay, and I wonder why SAP couldn't be like that. So allow me to introduce you to the new world of SAP interfaces. Using the button import, okay, Insight allows you to upload an Excel file with your data for mass upload. Okay, in case you do not know the structure of the Excel file, or you don't like to do that manually, click the download sample button. And quickly enough, Insight will create a new Excel file with the needed structure. And now you can actually fill it with the data. Of course, you can get it from another system, or you can manipulate the Excel. Give me a second. I will show you how it looks like. Again, I will crop a few records. I will place them like that. And I will save this Excel file. Let me go back to Insight, import. The data was imported nicely. I can select the records and press the update delivery date. And everything was corrected. This ends this part, even though my colleagues told me that it was fairly quickly, the part of the Excel, because this is something that you have to really think thoroughly. Now, as soon as you created a small piece of code, it turns into infrastructure. This is something that you cannot take lightly. Something nice we've been doing in the last year or so is providing our customers with out-of-the-box content, namely a set of toolbar functions that you can import into your system and you can start from them. In the last 5 minutes I have to spare, let me go back to the collaboration and let me show you the promised process of split information. I will do that in very freestyle. I will do the same thing, create Insight Publisher job. Okay, let me pick a layout. And now I will use the data split. Again, let me put you in the frame. I would like to take my report, I would like to split it, okay, by vendors, and I would like to send each of those vendors their content, okay, with a personalized email. So I will press the data split. Over here, I can either use a very sophisticated split mechanism or the simple one which splits by a layout content field. Let me pick the vendor field. Down below, you can see that I don't need to set up emails anymore because I will tell the system that the selected split field is a vendor. Okay, it means that the system will take the email address from the vendor master data. Now I can use a more personalized subject by picking one of the data piece that we are giving you, the placeholder for dynamic parameter, which means the name of the vendor. Here, name of vendor. Now, let us have a standard text, dear, and $, the name of the vendor. This is your list. It contains, and now I can again pick number of records. It contains records. Thank you. Let me, we can add the graphic. I will skip this one. I can use, again, HTML. I can use in message body, and I can use navigation links. Okay, and let me save my work. Again, this is the first time I'm using it. I will use the immediate, and I will save my work and take care of the status of this job. It's a bit important because in opposed to previous times, it didn't finish with success, only partial success. Why? Because many of the senders, many of the vendors do not have the email maintained. Anyway, if we will refresh this list, we will see a few records. Dear IBM, let us check this one. Dear IBM, this is your list. It contains 12 records. Thank you. And you can see only IBM records over here, and you can navigate from here. Thank you for your time. Rafi, the stage.
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you. Wow, indeed. I mean, we've seen here some very exciting things. We've seen today a few of the features we offer with InsightSAP. We've seen collaboration, how we can convert our reports into Fiori, function buttons, and how to interact with Excel, all with no code. These are just a few of the many capabilities and features we offer in InsightSAP. Insight is really a revolutionary platform. Users are able to create complex business processes, solve logistic and financial reporting issues, manage materials, HR, and more. We enable our users to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in development cost. We improve time to market of reports, business processes from weeks and months into hours and days. Many of the issues we address and solve are not possible or cost-effective with other solutions. If you found this interesting, please contact us via LinkedIn, mail, or our website. We would love to tell you more about it. And we will now move to the Q&A section of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please use the raise your hand button, and we'll answer the question. Thank you. Okay, I think that the product is perfect. There's no questions. Everything is clear. We did have a question though, and I don't know if we were able to do that in time or not. But one of our participants asked if we can demo the pivot table.
Yes, it looks something like that. I cannot share my screen anymore. Please stop sharing your screen.
I will stop sharing. Yes. Okay. Sure.
This was not planned, but it should look something. Let me turn Insight. I have an example from yesterday. Pivot tables. I will click it. So down below, you can see the data, the content, and we added a new field, month year. This is a calculated column that takes the document date and change it into month and year. And over here, we created a pivot table based on material group, the month and year as column, and the net value as a sum. And as you can see, this is the result. The difference between this one and Excel is that it takes the same time to create such a thing in SAP, in Insight, but as soon as you do that, that will work for you every time because the data is refreshed and you don't need to do that time and time again like in Excel. And if I'll double click the information, you'll be able to see that the needed information is present over here. And again, differently than Excel, you don't need to remove those new tabs. And again, we did something quickly, and instead of mapping the document date into a month and year, we mapped it into quarter. Let me show you how it looks like in Insight. So month and year looks just like in Excel. Date, get year, document date, and it will replace itself as month and year. And the second one, use these formulas, date, get year, and then Q, and then date, get quarter of the document date. And now, if you check the result, you see that you can now switch. I did it like that in quarters, and now the same pivot table is now presented using quarters. Okay. Last thing about this one, we have this feature of auto refresh. So you can set up a few minutes or a number of minutes that the data will be refreshed. And accordingly, the pivot table will be refreshed. So you can hang on the wall a monitor with this pivot table and the auto refresh, and every minute or so, or whatever you like, the data will be refreshed to present the current situation of let's say, the warehouse, the production line, whatever. Any other question, Rafi? Rafi, you're frozen. You're muted.
I'm muted. Sorry, we don't have any questions. There is a question about the licensing, and this one I can answer, and we probably should take this offline, and we will be happy to provide you with all the information. We just want to answer questions that are more relevant to the technical part. Avi, there is a question if we can collaborate via Gmail or corporate email, or does it have to be in Outlook?
No, you can cooperate with other email clients. The only by the way, on top of with Outlook, you have this one, Send, which uses SAP standard email. So the touch of any client. We support Gmail, but there are some really rare clients, I don't know why, in China, that nobody supports, and we face problem with this one. But generally speaking, we support everything, and you can work with them.
Okay, another question that came up in the Q&A section is, does the system affect the SAP running time?
Performance. This is a great question. Again, we are 12 years old software, and apparently I faced almost every question. Two things. First, we are as good as any other developer, even though in my opinion we are far better. Why? Because we have only one insight, and therefore we perfected the selection parts. Okay, we spend so much time on them, so our report should run quicker than other developers. However, we have a set of tools to even improve performance. We have something called snapshot. Okay, if you have a standard SAP report that will take you 5 minutes to be invoked, you can snapshot it. Okay, it will take you like a minute to set up something like that. And now every 15 minutes, this report will be snapshot, and you can create an insight based on that snapshot. And now you can see that report instantaneously, and it's going to be like 10 minutes old. But this way, not only that we are not deteriorating the performance, in many cases, we improve them. We improve performance.
Avi, we have a question from Tahel Bloom from Israel.
Hi, Avi.
Hi, Tahel. Good evening.
Good evening. I have a question regarding to the function that is able us to load from Excel and create a BAPI. So today we are using in our company the Z option that load the journal entry from vendors or from or a complicated journal entry of GL. The function can we put in the function also constants?
Absolutely. First, this is a great question. Thank you, Tahel. So Z option, Process Runner, Wind Shuttle, all those software, they all live outside SAP. With the newly way we use toolbar function, we can do the same thing and in a far better way. Remember, we live within SAP. We can check the data for validity. We can do so many things that nobody can do just because we live within SAP. And yes, the same code that you wrote internally for you, the toolbar function, will serve you just like a Z option, just like Wind Shuttle and Process Runner, to upload content from Excel by business end users. And again, remember, authorization. Because we live within SAP, you don't need to manage authorization in a whole different software island. Your users have authorization, and if they are not allowed to do something, they will not be able to do that this way or another. But this is a great point. Thank you, Tahel.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? I think that everything is clear now, and we can
wrap it up.
So again, thank you for the questions, and thank you all for joining us today. We would like to remind you that if you have any questions after the webinar, if something you thought in the middle of the night, we would love to answer it. Or if you would like to know more, just contact us via LinkedIn, the website, or email at any time. Have a great day, and we look forward to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thanks,
great
Avi.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.